Hey, so I'm going back to school next month and I'm going to get my doctorate. I thought maybe I would do a kind of series on what that looks like as a full time employee doing part time doctoral program, wife, mom, still trying to live my life. So I'm going to do a series over on YouTube, and I wanted to start with just a little bit about kind of what I've experienced so far getting into this program. I'm doing a doctorate of nursing education at The Ohio State University. It's an online program. It is 3 years part-time, so I'll be doing 2 classes each semester. The classes are online, but they're synchronous, so I need to be online on Tuesdays in order to participate. So I've already registered, but I wanted to talk about a couple of things that maybe people don't know about a doctoral program, kind of what to expect. So for starters, yes, it's online, but you still have to do things like you are in person. For example, I had to get a drug screen. They wouldn't accept the one that I did for my work last year when I moved out here. So I had to pay for a drug screen. That was $60. I had to do FBI and criminal background checks. So I had to get fingerprints twice. That was about $55 and mail those off, which I get, it makes sense. But I'm currently a nurse, so I have fingerprints on file anyway, but that's fine. I'll do it. I also had to do, what else did I have to pay for? I had to pay for some other stuff. Oh, I had to pay for a deposit to the program that is not included in my tuition. That was $250 just to say, yes, I accept the program. So that was that. I also had to pay the application fee for the program, but that's with any college that you go to. I think that was $65. And this is not including the tuition for the program. So the program is pretty expensive. It's about $60,000 for this doctorate. This is a terminal degree, and I knew going in that this was going to be a pretty expensive program, but I just felt like I wanted to go to a school that had a program specifically designed for my needs. They do offer doctorates in nursing everywhere, it seems like. But this was a specialized program for nurse educators, which is what I am. I work as an academic nursing professor at a private college out here in Nevada. And I just want to be the best educator that I can be. So I knew that I wanted to get my doctorate. And plus, I like learning and I love going to school. So I knew this was going to happen at some point. There were a couple other options that I looked into. I looked at Herzing. They have a program. And then I also looked at American College of Education to do a PhD specific in just adult education. But I just didn't really feel like what they were offering in those programs is what I wanted. So I made a decision to just apply to OSU, and I got in, thankfully. That process in itself was super nerve-wracking. We had to, and it should be nerve-wracking. I had to apply. Number one, I had to get my transcripts sent over, all of my transcripts. I had to send a copy of my nursing license. I had to show proof that I have worked in the last 5 years and got a specific number of hours, which I have. I mean, I've worked full-time as a nurse since I became one 18 years ago, so no days off. I also had to get 2 letters of recommendations from higher ups. So I used my previous director when I was nursing in Florida, working as an educator there, and then I used my current dean of nursing here in Nevada. They both wrote letters, which I didn't see. So they wrote something really good because that was part of what got me in, I assume. And I had to also write a goal and purpose statement to the college to say why I would be a good fit for their program. And that was a little nerve-wracking too, because it's hard to talk about yourself and what you bring, especially if you're in a mindset of you want to go to this program to learn more. It's kind of hard to boost yourself up sometimes. And I feel like we all kind of struggle with imposter syndrome too. So it was kind of difficult to write that statement. The other thing that I had to do, which was super nerve-wracking, is I had to do a virtual interview. Now, I thought that this interview would be just like a Zoom meeting. My craziness. No, it was not. It was a meeting with myself on camera, very much like what I'm doing now. But they didn't tell you what the questions were going to be. So I'm a person that likes to be prepared. I do not like just kind of on the moment, fake it till you make it kind of stuff. That doesn't work with me. So I was very nervous about the question. So I tried to really review and just kind of get a little bit more information on what I could bring and, you know, how this program would benefit me, but how I would also benefit the program. So I did a lot of research beforehand. And the other part that made the interview pretty nerve-wracking was the questions were timed. So you couldn't really elaborate on anything for a long amount of time. I feel like they were about, you had maybe like a minute and a half to answer each question, and you didn't know what the question was. So it was a lot of, you know, pause and reflection and thinking about what they're asking. And then to make it the best, right, cherry on top, you couldn't see everything when it was done. So you had to hope that you didn't like black out and just say whatever. Like I felt like, you know, Michael Scott from The Office, how sometimes he just starts and he doesn't know where he's going. I was like, oh my God, did I do that? Did I do that? Did I say what I needed to say? Or was I just rambling on? I don't know. And then the waiting, right? So we did all of this in February. Had to be done by February, the beginning of February, I think. I did it early, so I don't remember the exact date. Was it end of January or February? I don't remember. But I didn't get my answer until April. So it was middle of April when I got the email saying that I was accepted, which was amazing. But also very nerve-wracking to wait and kind of see what your life is going to be like. So I'm going to do this kind of series of where I plan my life and plan my school and the things that I'm learning. I'm really excited, but I'm also very nervous because I can't believe that I'm going to be a doctoral student. I'm going to be Dr. Battle in 3 years. Also, the other thing that's kind of really cool is my baby, my sweet little baby, is starting middle school next month. So she's going to be in middle school. I'm going to be in this doctoral program. And when we finish, like she's going to finish these 3 years in middle school. I'm going to finish these 3 years at OSU. And then we're going to be done, like this huge milestone in our lives. And we're going to be doing it side by side. So that's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. I do wish that, I hope that I can get an opportunity to go up there and see the school before graduation. I absolutely will be paying to go and walk and do all of that, like the garb, everything, like absolutely. But I kind of want to go see it beforehand. And since my tuition includes certain services on campus, I want to go see them. So I want to go check it out. But I don't really know what that looks like as far as like taking off and just having an impromptu visit to Ohio. So nonetheless, today is Tuesday. I am going to work on some school stuff. I also have to work on like some bill pay and things like that. So I'm going to do some organization and some things in my craft room office, and then I'm going to pick my kid up from tutoring and go on about my night. So I just thought I would come on. Let's get this series started on what it looks like to go get your doctorate while you're still working full-time, because I do teach. I do clinicals through work, and I have a husband who is very supportive, thankfully, because he does a lot of the things that I just don't want to do, right? So I'm lucky to have that, but also still being present in my family's life. My poor husband has gone through so much schooling with me. So when I met him, I had just finished my associate degree at my local community college, and I had just gotten my, I just graduated with my nursing degree, but I hadn't taken the NCLEX yet. So I met him like maybe 2 weeks before I took my NCLEX. So he was there with me when I was deemed a licensed nurse. This is 18 years ago. And then I went back to get my BSN when we lived in Florida, and was pregnant during that time. So he was with me during that whole online program. I did have to go on campus and do a couple classes. I think I had to do like statistics, and there was something else I had to do on campus, but I don't remember. It was so long ago. So he was with me through that. I gave birth like during the break of spring and summer, and went right back in and finished. And then I went back and got my master's in nursing education, and he and my new toddler were there for me with that. She was 2 at the time. So my family has been really supportive. My extended family, my friends, everybody's so supportive of me going back to school and just going to school in general. I think I've gone off on a tangent, but anywho, this is the journey. This is what it's going to look like. School doesn't officially start until August 27th. So we have a little bit of time, but it's essentially next month. So I got to get my kind of self together and go ahead and start working on this plan of what Tuesdays look like for me at home, trying to get all my work done. They did invite us to be a part of like a group me on like for this program, because this program, that's another thing. This DNE program is fairly new. It's only been around, I want to say maybe like 1 or 2 years, maybe 2 years. I actually researched this program when I was still living in Florida, because I knew that I wanted to go back to school to get my doctorate. And they had 2 different tracks. They had a hospital education track and a academic educator for nursing track. And at the time I was looking at both because I was still working as a hospital educator. But then I moved out here to Nevada. I got a job as an academic educator and fell in love. And I don't know why. I do know why. But I wish that I would have switched over earlier because of how much fulfillment I have with work. I loved my other job before, and I was good at it. I felt like I was really good at what I was doing, and I loved the people that I worked with and the systems that I worked for. I never really had like a bad experience in nursing, but switching over to academics, it's totally different, and the challenges are so different, and the feeling of reward is so much better over here. Like the dopamine is doing its thing in the academic world, and I will never leave. So thankfully this program has 2 different tracks, right? So I said I looked at the original one for hospital, but I finalized on academics, and my goal is just to just learn more on how I can engage these students and make this new generation of nursing just love it as much as I do. And I'm hoping that this program will give that to me. So I'm gonna get some work done. I'm gonna do a couple things. I have a couple of things that I need to do for the university, like some like computer training that needs to be done, basic stuff. I think like shooter safety or something I need to do online so that I can be marked as compliant, because I don't like to be marked as not compliant. So I'm gonna get those things done today before I go get Madison from camp. So follow along if you're interested, but I'll post every Tuesday-ish to kind of let you know how things are going. But next month will be here before we know it. So, all right.